What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we gotta talk about LaRussell. Now, if any of y'all don't know who LaRussell is, go check him out. I like the brother. I think he made some good music. You know, people get caught up in there. I guess if it ain't about shaking your butt, shooting guns, deleting people, etc., it's corny. It's a little kid rap. But listen, I like the music. Now, one of the things that happened recently, there's two things he's being criticized for, and I think unfairly. And we got some clips we'll play to go over this, but he's being criticized, one, for signing with Roc Nation. Now, from my understanding, it's just a distribution deal. It's not anything where they have full control or anything like that. It's supposed to be just a distribution deal. If I'm wrong on that, y'all can correct me in the comments, but looking around and listening to everything, that's kind of what I got out of that. But then the other thing, now, signing with Roc Nation is one thing, and doing any type of business with Roc Nation is one thing. That's enough to get you criticized, right? For the most part. But then there's an interview where he talks about Lil Wayne. Well, I'm not going to say he's talking about, they were talking about Wayne and talking about Wayne's music. And in the conversation, he talks about a point in his life where he looked at Wayne with disdain because he realized there wasn't really a lot of substance. Needless to say, these two things in and of themselves, if it was just one or the other, would be enough for a brother like that to receive a lot of criticism. But I think that second part was way too much for a lot of people. And so we got the clip. We'll listen to the whole thing. We got a clip of him responding to that. And then we got some other people adding some input into this thing, man. But it's kind of crazy, man. It's just kind of crazy to watch all of this and to see somebody who's been grinding as hard as he's been grinding and try to put out music, good music with substance that you can have fun to, be, I'm not going to say eviscerated by the net, but just be attacked and be taken out of such context. Like, once y'all hear this, y'all going to see it's much ado about nothing. All right. But let's get into the clip. Now, this says this is the full 8-minute version of the clip that went viral over the weekend. It was originally titled LaRussell on Lil Wayne's Genius, but purposely edited by clickbait vultures to mislead people into thinking that LaRussell was slandering Wayne. Context is everything. All right, let's listen.
Writing, and I used to just always.
What was like the initial introduction to music? Like, I'm gonna do this, I want to make music. Like, when did it click for you way before all of that?
One of my earliest memories is my sister. My sister used to like write raps, and we had this boombox, and she would like. My dad always burned CDs, so we'd be listening like
We used to
Knock a
do
Few
that
Buck,
too.
and we used to just write raps. She'd be like, "Write a rap with me."
Right.
We'd rap it to my mom and my cousin in the kitchen, and I think from that I just got an affinity for writing, and I used to just always keep a notebook. I would always be writing. I'd be in class writing.
Right.
Like I couldn't escape it. I just really enjoyed to write at that time, and then I found Lil Wayne. One of the homies put me on Wayne, and it was like bars. I used to have a notebook, just bars.
Right.
I never knew how to write songs then. I just knew how to write punchline. Yep. And I just really grew like a love for writing. When I finally was able to write songs about my life, it opened my entire world up, because I was like, oh, I've been using it wrong.
Right.
Like, I was just writing punchline. I didn't know that I could like express myself and share what I'm feeling. That changed everything for me.
What was your introduction to Wayne?
Man, that's tough.
Mine was Back That Ass Up. 9-9.
Oh yeah, of course. But that's the, so there's two introductions to Wayne. Yeah. There's an introduction to Wayne that's through culture and your parents that you have no merit in.
Right.
And then there's an introduction when you get to like dive. And mine's, I think it was like the Drought 2. I remember specifically, and what was the damn song? It was something on the Drought 2. My partner had an iPod. He was like one of the first people I knew with a laptop and an iPod, and he just was like, listen to this. And that was like my reintroduction to like, man, dedication mixtapes, the Droughts. Like I just got immersed.
No ceilings.
Man, this was pre No Ceilings.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carter
Carter
1 and Carter.
Now, I will say, for me specifically, a lot of them songs on that mixtape run Wayne was on is where I kind of started, where he lost me a lot, because that's when you just kept hearing more let's just say more of the no substance. It was just always like pussy, smoke weed. And it was just every song was the same thing, bro. And that went on for a while. Y'all gotta be honest. Like, again, this doesn't mean Wayne doesn't have substantive songs, because he does. And that's not what LaRussell's saying, as we'll see here in a second either. But there was a moment I vividly remember, man, and this is when I was actually still locked up. I was in like a little center because I was on the way about to get out, and we was able to actually listen to music and stuff, right? So I had some, I think they were CDs at that time. And I just remember I'm walking around the little track, or the little basketball court, the caged in basketball court, and I'm listening. And I forget which mixtape it was, honestly. I forget. I think it was No Ceilings, one of the No Ceilings. I remember just thinking as I'm going through the song, like, bro, how many times you going to talk about pussy? Now, granted, I seen Nolan made a video about this, and he actually put a clip of an interview of Wayne saying that's what he wants to talk about. And granted, he can't talk about what he want to talk about. But there is a point in time, and if I go back, I'll say I've said I need something else. I need something else.
Or two were amazing.
Yep.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I think that was like my
Like Father, Like
reintroduction.
Son, the Birdman album is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're like positively talking about Lil Wayne, because our last guest shat on Lil Wayne so hard.
Man, I
Now pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. He said, "I'm glad we're positively talking about Lil Wayne, because the last." Now I don't know who the last guest was that shat on Lil Wayne, but that's important, is it not? Let's keep going.
I take Wayne slander personal. Like,
I love Wayne so much, but I understand how someone could be like, man, this isn't the Wayne that like I remember.
Right.
Okay, we gotta pay attention to that too. I love Wayne so much, so he's not shitting on Wayne. He's not.
You
Right.
know?
No, but he was saying, let me tell you what happened. He was saying that he hated him whole career. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
You know what?
I
I
had
was
to
so
ask
confused.
him. I
But
said,
let
was it old Wayne or new Wayne? He like all of Wayne.
Hilarious.
Fuck Wayne.
yeah,
There's a lot of
hilarious.
things he said.
he said a lot. We won't.
He said a
repeat
lot.
them
We
all.
won't
Yeah,
repeat
Who was it?
Our
Our
ex-nephew.
ex-nephew.
Hey,
I don't even
he
know.
has his own truth.
Yeah,
I gotta
He
respect
he
it.
he had a
Yeah.
conviction.
Yeah,
He had a
You know,
conviction. So
I
I was
respect
like,
you know, I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne, just because I started listening to everything. Like I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing.
Now he said, "I had a moment in my journey." This ain't him saying he hate Wayne. He just said I was maturing. And look, any of y'all who are like me, older, grew up on that type of music, loved it. You get older. Listen, there's certain things I can't even Wayne songs I refuse to listen to at this point. There's certain just rap songs, whatever. I just don't listen. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not where I'm at in my life. It really ain't. So that's a very fair and mature outlook and criticism. Listen, if you're older and you're still identifying with I guess the youthful bullshit, I think there's a problem there, man. I think so. What he's saying, nothing wrong here. I've yet to detect anything wrong with any of this so far.
for a long time. And
I
like,
think that's
you.
what
I
his
asked him
argument
about that.
was.
He
you know, like
Yeah.
as someone who like grew up in these communities,
Right.
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be bloods because they following Wayne and want to be gangster and want to shoot all the gun bar and shit.
Right.
Like I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of a 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And
Right.
that do bother me. Man, Tie My Hands.
That's
one
what
of
I
the
was
greatest
gonna say.
records
Tie My
that-
Hands
right?
is the only one I
And
could
that
think
and,
of.
and that's the thing. It's like if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, you know, your affinity for me is going. You're probably gonna remember me for
Right.
this. And a lot of people don't. You know, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn.
Yeah.
Like I love you because I learned how to rap to you, but when you look at the contribution, it's like, man. But he was also a kid.
True.
Yeah,
Wayne
this
was
is
a
true.
kid.
Yeah.
He was like 14, 15 when he came
Man,
out.
a kid.
And I think that last part he added on there was important too, right? Because he said, but he was also a kid. But let's not make no mistake about it. Wayne was still kind of rapping the same way, even on his last album. So you can give him leeway for back then, but he kept on doing it up until the age that he's at now. But I don't see this is a fair and I think balanced criticism. And when you go through the comments in a lot of these, you'll see people coming at him and trying to chop his head off. But there's a lot of people that agree. There's a lot of people that agree. There's nothing wrong.
Yeah, I interviewed him a couple times, and he basically, what I would try to like ask him kind of like a more deep thing, and he would just be like, "I don't know shit." You know what I mean? Like he was honest about it. Like, you know, because think about it, he was dropped out of school at 13 years old. Like,
Right.
you know, you're just like,
and he was adopted by gangsters, indoctrinated to a whole
Adopted
system.
by the projects.
It was like he gave everything he could, and I love Wayne. He gave everything he could, and he contributed so much to the culture. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
But elaborate more on like Good Company. Just like when did you decide like, okay, this is gonna be my brand?
So we'll end that there because they keep going on to something else. But y'all tell me, where in that conversation did he shit on Wayne? Because I didn't see it. Let's look. A bunch of blogs and aggregator pages picked it up because they knew they could spark controversy and get everyone talking shit because the algorithm has become completely rigged to spread negativity, kill nuance, and thus ensure maximum virality. It's pathetic, but here we are. And somebody said, nightmares at the bottom, how to hate, how to love, mirror, comfortable, tie my hands, love me or hate me, let it all work out, can't be broken, to name a few. I mean, look, he wasn't wrong. Wayne's catalog is full of more bullshit than it's not. But in all fairness, and Wayne said it himself, that's not who he was setting out to be. All right. That's not who he was setting out to be. And all LaRussell said was, as I matured, I realized a good majority of the work that Wayne put in, he wasn't really talking about none, but he can still rap. So in all fairness to Wayne, he wasn't trying to make, I guess, super substantive music for the most part, but also as you mature, the type of music that he does make, it's probably not going to be your cup of tea at some point, right? A real Lil Wayne fan wouldn't say this because they know his catalog, but that's a bunch of bullshit. That's absolutely wrong. A real Lil Wayne fan would acknowledge that, yeah, there's truth to that. Somebody said, that nigga don't talk about shit, and I was there since the block is hot. Outside of bitches, buddy, and hoes, and really punchlines and nice flow patterns. Yeah, facts. Now, we're going to get to LaRussell's response on this in a moment because he did respond, and he kind of came at all the blogs in them for what he called a coordinated attack. Is it? I don't know. We'll see. But let's listen in on what this fella had to say about this whole situation.
Y'all gonna stop acting like y'all didn't know what LaRussell was saying in that interview. Regardless of how you feel about Lil Wayne, you understood what he was saying. You don't have to agree, but you understood what he was saying. And anybody acting like they don't understand or didn't understand, they're either too dumb or they're just doing the most. Rap music is still an extremely young genre. We haven't had the benefit of seeing rappers age through rap gracefully. Like, we're just now seeing it as hip hop is just turning a little bit over 40, 50 years old. So we never had a blueprint of what it looks like for rappers to age in their 40s and 50s and still put out music. Even their late 30s is a new thing. It was considered a young man's game and technically still is. Lil Wayne, by far, is one of the best rappers to ever touch a microphone. Period. That's not to be debated, which LaRussell did not go against that or deny that. He even acknowledged his fanship of Lil Wayne and how much he loves him and respects him. But the small glimpse we have of rappers aging and still being on top of their game is a very small list. Of course we have Jay-Z. Of course we have Nas. You can even throw T.I. into that. Kanye West into that. We are now seeing the Clips do it. But these are people, if you look at their catalogs, as they've aged, the things they talk about. And Andre 3000 talked about this when he was saying why he doesn't really rap anymore, because he was like, do y'all want to hear me rap about colonoscopies at this age? And people were like, yeah, we do. But he was just like, I don't feel inspired to rap at this age. But anyway, to the other people, Kanye, T.I., Jay-Z, etc., if you go listen to their albums as they've gotten older, they're talking about things they wouldn't have rapped about when they first came out. Their experiences, their growth, their adulthood, their fathers. They talk about a lot of things. And not to say Wayne doesn't talk about that, but just look at Wayne's catalog compared to the other rappers of his ilk. The best to ever do it who have aged through hip hop and still remain as relevant. Come on, dog.
All right, yeah, and man, he made a lot of good points. He made a lot of really good points, and I wasn't even thinking about that aspect of it, of comparing him to other rappers as they have aged. It is kind of funny because while Wayne has made songs that gives you some insight into his life, right? There's not many of them, and again, like he said, though, that's really not what he was trying to do. But let's go over here now and listen to LaRussell's response to all of this, because if you ask me, it is overblown.
I'm finna blow the whistle on the industry real quick. In the industry, is two forms of marketing that's used heavily. It's seeding and it's clipping. Whenever you see academics, say cheese, rap, bars, etc., all posting the same thing around the same time with the same narrative, that's a seeding campaign. It means someone gave them a budget and some content and a narrative to spread to the world. These two things have been monumental and beneficial to artists like myself as well, because whenever I have a viral moment, I'm able to mass distribute the moment to the world. On the flip side of that, most of these places don't have no integrity. So as long as you got the budget, you could get them to post anything and use their platform. Yesterday, probably like 20, 30 platforms across Instagram and Twitter.
Bro, am I tripping real quick, or the cameraman sound out of breath? I don't think that's LaRussell. I think that's the cameraman. He breathing hard as hell.
All posted the same clip of me at the same time with the same narrative. 30 niggas thinking the same thing, watching the same interview at the same time. None of them have ever posted anything from me. They ain't posted when I paid rent in my hood. They ain't posted when I bought our restaurants. They ain't posted when I helped these kids. They ain't posted nothing I've ever done. But randomly, they all watching this interview and decided we should post this. And the title says, LaRussell says this about Lil Wayne after signing to Jay-Z. What the fuck that got to do with anything? That's somebody with a budget and content and a narrative saying, hey, go run this. Niggas want to try to tarnish what a nigga built, but you can't. The problem is God chose me, nigga. Man can't stop what God put in motion. They doing everything they can because I did everything they can't, nigga. I broke the system. I made it from my fucking backyard. It ain't ironic that all of a sudden niggas talking about LaRussell everywhere at the same time with the same narrative. It'll never work, nigga. I'm from the fucking Bay. Nigga, I break the internet. The internet don't break me. In the words of the great Dwayne Carter, real niggas fuck with me and I don't give a fuck who don't. And niggas can spin it however, but you know, my message wasn't even out of malice.
No,
I love Wayne. I wouldn't be the rapper I am today without. He inspired me to do so much. He inspired me to have bars. But he also inspired me to smoke weed, sip lean, fuck bitches, shoot guns, all those things. And I turned out great. But that's the power of being influential, nigga. I love Wayne, nigga. Fuck y'all. I just want my fans to know, like, buckle up. You feel me? I'm finna take this shit on one. And clearly somebody got a problem with that. Somebody putting their money up to have a problem with that.
I don't think that he said any of that out of malice. Now, what he was saying on that other half of that about people, you know, the Roc Nation aspect of it, a lot of people, I guess, were upset just because he had any type of deal with Roc Nation. I got a short clip of people talking about that. Hold on.
LaRussell, Mr. Independent himself, Mr. Don't sign to a label, Mr. I'm doing it out my backyard, Mr. Go straight to the fans. He did not sign a record deal to my knowledge. To my knowledge, he signed
it's a distribution
deal. One key thing that he said, the second he signed the deal, went to sleep, woke up, his music was on 50 different stations, 50 different sites. So that lets you know it's not all about the talent, it's about the connection. As long as you got the connections, they're gonna get your product seen and heard, like we said on this podcast all day. But yeah, what y'all think about that move? Did he sell out?
First, shout out to LaRussell. He really putting on for the Bay. He over at Richmond High, Kennedy High, El Cerrito. He over there doing it, putting on for the Bay. Did the tailgate thing. So that's legendary. We're going to have to talk about him, regardless if we feel he's got some corny raps or not. We're going to have to talk about him in 10, 15 years about him really putting on for up north. So shout out to LaRussell for that. Number two, he did say months and months ago that if a label brought him the proper deal, with the proper control and creative control, he would take the deal, and he's not against the label. So I do want to put that out there for people saying that he sold out. He said that if a label approached him with the proper deal, he would take it. And I think that's what he did. I think in today's time, there is no independent. That's just my thing. Chance the Rapper, independent, all these people independent. They have a distribution deal, which is still this damn near the same thing. It's not a 360, but you're signed to the label. You're getting all the label perks. You're getting the promotion. You're getting placed on the Spotify playlist. You're getting the social media, all of those things. So
ads and everything else.
You're on the label. It's just a way for them to keep that connectivity with the fans of I'm independent. I'm still getting it out the trunk. But in reality, these niggas are signed to the label. That's just the new label deal is we distribute your shit and you take what you take, on the back end. But it's still a deal with the
Russell, Mr.
Now, I don't have enough knowledge about record deals and all that. Y'all let me know in the comments. Is what he said on that last part true? I don't know. I will say this too, though. You can only get so far on your own. Like if you're doing this, at some point you're going to need to get to that next level, right? So I don't see anything wrong with signing any type of deal as long as it's a good deal for you. And you still stay true to yourself in your music. I think that matters more than necessarily the deal. The deal part really has to do with him and the label and whether or not he getting screwed. The music part is what people should really care about, right? That's what I think a lot of people just don't like Roc Nation. And so they're using that. And then his comments, they're taking out of context about Lil Wayne.
So LaRussell was doing this interview. And mind you, he was giving Wayne a lot of praise too. What they didn't include in the clip was that. But I get it. That clip isn't going to go as viral. Is LaRussell wrong? No. This is coming from a Lil Wayne fan. Lil Wayne was my favorite rapper growing up for a big portion of my childhood, my younger days. But as I grew up and started listening to more music and like more meaning and message in my music and more relatability, other people I started becoming more of a fan of. And then when I went back to Wayne's catalog, yes, it was very impressive rapping. Yes, Lil Wayne can rap better than 99.999% of the world if we're just talking rapping ability. But there's not a lot of substance to Wayne's lyrics. That doesn't mean he doesn't have songs of substance. I think a lot of people are getting that confused. But Lil Wayne doesn't have a lot of songs with depth. He talks about this. There's interviews where Wayne talks about this. He brags about how he likes rapping about women's body parts. There's interviews where they ask him about Black Lives Matter, he tells you that shit ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm a rich black man. These are facts. You feel me? I don't think it's disrespectful to tell the truth about Wayne not being a rapper of a lot of substance a majority of the time. That doesn't mean he doesn't have any tracks where he did do that. You get what I'm saying? You guys don't care, though. You care about the narrative. You feel me? Lil Wayne is still a GOAT to me. He's still one of the greatest rappers ever. I don't think it's crazy to say that Lil Wayne didn't rap of substance a lot. Not every rapper does that. I don't listen to... Future does evoke a feeling and a vibe from me, but I'm not listening to Future for the latest take on the political and economic state of the world. You feel me?
Yeah, facts. Facts. And honestly, at a certain age, bro, if you still listening to certain type of music, and that's like your, I guess, constant intake, something's wrong. I'm sorry, man. Your taste should change at some point. But I didn't see anything in there that the man was being disrespectful. It was a pretty fair and balanced opinion. Something that most of us will probably say, something that most of us agree with. But y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll catch y'all on the next one.